But this guy Kollege keeps turning up again and again. Konstantin Kollege. He's still Russian military intelligence. Kollege, a short man who goes by Kostya, this guy Konstantin Kollege. Konstantin Kollege, investigating Konstantin Kollege for espionage. This guy Konstantin Kollege is the key that unlocks that door. It seems like it would have to be.
So why does he have to be short? All right, stop it! So the world's looking pretty good. North Korea's calming down, no ISIS, unemployment at its lowest in ages. Trump had a great meeting with that Nigerian guy. I think he wrote me a long email once. I sent him 10 grand, never heard from him again. Wonder what happened. So while the world seems to improve, the media keeps focusing on the worst. The New York Times, get this, they ran an article this week titled, "Happy 200th Birthday, Karl Marx. You were right." Too bad he can't read it. He's dead. But what a strange thing to say. I guess the tribute to John Wilkes Booth wasn't ready yet. And where is the Lizzie Borden centerfold? But as the writer glorifies the dead commie, we here don't believe the Times went far enough. So we created a real salute.
Happy birthday, Karl Marx. You co-wrote the Communist Manifesto, which is right up there with the Unabombers for the best manifesto of all time. Its basic tenet that capitalism leads to class oppression and will eventually be superseded by a socialist order. Sweet! In fact, it was such an awesome idea that a bunch of countries tried it, like Lenin's Soviet Union, featuring mass imprisonment, Mao Zedong's China, with widespread famine, Castro's Cuba, featuring animal-powered farm equipment, and Maduro's Venezuela, toilet paper lines for days, plus a bunch of other countries that don't exist anymore, like East Germany, Yugoslavia, and Czechoslovakia. Talk about a most excellent run. And there's even communist nations still around today, like North Korea, but they won't admit it because it's so successful they don't want to rub it in the rest of the world's faces. So here's to you, Karl Marx. Happy 200th birthday, bro.
Well done. So, we just whipped that together. So as the world enters an optimistic age, the media still chases words and not deeds. The latest freak out, what Trump said about what Giuliani said about, you guessed it, Stormy.
It was staggering. We keep saying that.
And it's very confusing. I've never seen anything like it.
It is astonishing.
I think this is disgraceful.
It's astonishing.
It's stunning. Just stunning.
That was a disaster.
Other members of the legal team are, and this is not actually a legal term, freaking out.
Hush, hush, sweet Stormy.
What's wrong with these people? You know what they're like? They're like kids who ate all of their Halloween candy in one night. They're just overloaded. They're going to end up with a DTO, which is a Donald Trump overdose. But they can't stop. CNN has had Stormy's lawyer on 60 times in 3 months. He gets more airtime than pollen.
I think it probably will be hard to prove, Anderson. You got to stop interrupting me. The cover-up is really the con. Whoever the attorney is that wrote those 2 tweets is an absolute moron. There's no doubt that he's going to flip. You can try to put lipstick on the pig morning, noon, and night, and it's still going to be a pig, Don. I was stunned. I was speechless. I'm still stunned this morning.
Every day, he's speechless, which is weird because he never shuts up. How is that possible? But fair play to him. He's got CNN in his back pocket, and he won't stop farting. I thought about taking that out. Now remember when it was all about collusion? But now even MSNBC has doubts. This is great.
As for the Mueller investigation, I am very, as an American, as a citizen, I'm fascinated to know what he finds. I'm not so sure that he's going to find the smoking gun of coordination or collusion.
Oh, my God. MSNBC not sure about collusion? That's like Michael Moore not sure about pie. He likes pie. Can't change his mind on pie. So it's stormy this and stormy that from people who used to say, who cares? It's only sex. The lesson, if you lose an election, why not sue afterwards? It's the political equivalent of Tanya Harding taking out Nancy Kerrigan. And the media and the Dems are Jeff Gillooly and Sean Eckert. The Dems push the message, the media spreads it, and their collusion broadens. It's a self-perpetuating echo chamber, and the echo is impeach, because there are no democratic ideas to counter Trump's successes. I mean, how do the Democrats top ending the North Korean nuclear threat? What would be their issues? Free health care for MS-13? Horses should be able to marry sheep? I'm for that, actually. Love is love. All right. And so in a sprint, Trump made the world better for 7.6 billion people. And the question plaguing the media's brain, did a rich billionaire playboy lie about sex? I think I can save them a year of programming time and say, yes. Next question. Does America care? No. See, you can look at this latest stormy stuff two different ways. One is a lawyer. Trump's allowed to pay a settlement. Didn't use campaign funds. Nothing to do with collusion. Or you could look at it as a voter. You care more about peace than porn stars. Deeds more than words. And Trump's racked up a bunch so far. Which brings us to this choice. Do you want a wholesome but inept president who never could have crushed ISIS or figured out North Korea? Or have a cad who crushes ISIS and figures out North Korea? I know what choice I made, and it's the choice America made already. Let us welcome tonight's guest. He's smart and tough, like an encyclopedia that can kick your ass. Fox News national security strategist Sebastian Gorka. Oh, yeah. He puts the Terry in military. Retired Green Beret Master Sergeant in strange pants, Terry Schappert. Her BAC is always higher than her BMI. Great joke. National Review reporter Katherine Timpf. That was mean? No, it was nice.
Wait, he's not done.
He takes selfies with the Hubble Space Telescope. Former WWE superstar and my massive sidekick, Tyrus. All right, Dr. G, we covered a lot of ground here in this monologue. I want you to what are you thinking about what happened this week? What's the end game here with the media and their attacks on Trump with Stormy? Where are you?
First things first, that little communism is cool thing. As the child of people who lived under communism and escaped, that's probably how we can get the millennials back.
Yes.
That was epic, epic.
Thank you.
The Foundation for the Victims of Communism did a poll recently. 44% of American millennials want to live in a socialist country.
Wow.
More than want to live in a capitalist country.
They should move to Vermont.
So, you know, things have to be done. That kind of video can help us. With regards to this week, you have to listen to what the president said yesterday at the NRA meeting. He relishes this stuff.
Yeah.
I've worked for the guy. This is his fuel.
Right,
yeah?
right.
This is a 71-year-old guy. I'm 47. If I had a quarter of that man's energy at 71, I'd be happy. 3 hours of sleep a night. He doesn't get annoyed by this stuff. It's his fuel. You come at him, he's going to come back at you even harder. So they're going to lose. The Jake Tappers, the Anderson Coopers, they're going to lose.
So you're 47?
Yeah.
I'm 6 years older than you.
Me too.
It's amazing.
We're old.
I thought you were like much older than me.
It's just the beard.
Just the beard, and also you're tall. I always think tall people are older than me. It's like I'm the size of a child. Terry?
They've been growing long. He has more rings if you cut them open.
Yes. Terry would try that, actually. Yeah. All right, Terry, how is the mainstream media going to handle when there's more and more good news?
They're getting crushed. It is funny. About the communism thing and about that poll, that makes sense because that, by the way, is by design. The communists knew, okay, we're not going to beat these guys militarily. We could get them with the educators. And so these guys, this makes sense because the people that are a product of this education system, they've been fed this and they don't know any better. When they get in the real world, they're going to figure it out quick enough. Because reality does that. I'm a combat special force guy. Reality does that. And I love the best thing. We were talking backstage. Backstage is where we were. It's backstage. Yeah, the green room.
Get to the point.
Now, not in love with your tone. But back there, we were saying that it is so much fun to watch. I call Donald Trump the flashbang cannon. Flashbangs are the grenades we throw in to blow up light, sound, and just we go in and then shoot you because you're stunned. Trump's a flashbang, and it's funny to watch how he has crushed these people, and they needed to be crushed. Dems and Republicans, media and academics, and it's being done by a guy who is callous, thin-skinned, ego-driven, and is beautiful.
Yeah. He's flash bang, but I'm flash dance.
Yeah.
Kat, thoughts on anything?
Look.
All right, I'll keep it to the topic instead of what I was really thinking about. No, there has been a lot of good news, but the media, what it does do is it just doesn't cover it. It just doesn't cover it because then that would mean they would have to admit that Donald Trump has actually done some good things, which he has. But instead, they just have Stormy Daniels stories on all day long.
Right.
And I don't understand what they are because I don't watch it. I know that there's a lot of it. But what are they talking about for so long?
It's amazing.
They hooked up.
Yeah.
He lied about it.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah.
There you go. I just did the whole show.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. No, there's no. I don't understand. They're so shocked. These are people who said during the Clinton era that it's just sex are now just obsessed.
In the Oval Office.
Yes, exactly.
Okay? Not 10 years ago.
Yeah, and not just with a number of people. All right, Tyrus.
Greg.
And end this segment with some kind of wisdom.
Well, we're all socialists when we're younger until we get our own money.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
I ain't sharing a damn thing. It's mine. They ain't told no jokes in this chair. Why should I have to give it up? But we're all socialists when we're unemployed on mom's couch. Yeah, share the wealth.
Yeah.
So it's your wealth.
Yeah, no, that's so true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and we saw in Finland, they just retracted that. In Finland, they had that experiment.
Yes. Yeah, universal basic income.
Fixed income for everybody in the population, whether you worked or not. And guess what? It didn't work.
Yeah.
Speaking of Finland, where did those boots come from? Those are
I think they killed a yak.
Yeah. Must have been a pretty yak.
Yes, yes.
That's a good-looking
that's
But
nice.
Tyrus, that's not the problem. The problem is the flare of his pants.
You should see the jacket that goes with it. Yeah, get in that.
Do we have
Get
a
in on
close-up
that.
of Terry's
This is old meets new.
You call it a problem. I call it excellent.
You know, I hope they're flares because you're packing heat at the ankle.
Maybe I am.
Yes. All right, coming up, Dennis Rodman wants some credit for what's that word? For the North Korea talks. Why stop there? Rodman 2024. Should we credit him for changing Kim? Dennis Rodman says he deserves a big pat on the back if the North Korean summit happens as promised. Rodman was making nice with Kim Jong-un long before anyone thought a summit was possible. He even brought a copy of Trump's Art of the Deal on his last visit. Maybe that helped grease the skids.
His impression about Donald Trump and American people, I think that he has a change of heart.
But back then, everyone thought Rodman was nuts to go over there. He was vilified by his own nation. Like in 2014, some jerk had the nerve to say, quote, Dennis Rodman's another in a long line of Western pawns.
Jerk.
Which was the polite way of saying this. He's a wimp. After all, he's going there to celebrate his bud's birthday. Yeah, Rodman is the Marilyn Monroe to Kim Jong's JFK. This makes Rodman more than a patsy. To borrow from his own vocabulary, he's little Kim's little bitch.
Jesus. Ouch. Damn.
Handsome fella, but very naive. That did not age well. So I'll tell you what, just to make amends, if this summit happens, I will nominate Dennis Rodman for the Nobel Peace Prize, and I'll even submit this video.
In 2017, the international campaign to abolish nuclear weapons won the Nobel Peace Prize. But this year, that honor should belong to one man and one man only, Dennis Rodman. One look at his impressive resume and you'll understand why. Rodman first showed a knack for international diplomacy in 1997, teaming up with the muscles from Brussels, Jean-Claude Van Damme, for the groundbreaking film Double Team. A year later, he married Carmen Electra, who quickly divorced him because he was too devoted to bringing about world peace. Soon after, he finished his pro career with 11,954 rebounds. For comparison, the 2007 Nobel Prize winner Al Gore had 0 career rebounds. Was he always a dreamer? Was he always a fighter? When people wanted to wear brightly dyed hair in public, Rodman was there. When Celebrity Apprentice needed a boost, Rodman was there. And he didn't quit. When the world needed to solve the problem of North Korea, Rodman was there to save our planet from nuclear annihilation. Dennis Rodman, the clear choice for the 2018 Nobel Peace Prize.
Tyrus.
Oh, of course you went to me first.
What?
Why, oh why, did Greg go to me? What could it be?
Because I thought you probably know Dennis, right?
Yeah, of course, we all know each other.
We all know each other. Yes.
Yeah,
we all know each other.
We all know each other.
Ask your damn question.
Should he accept my apology?
You know what? Where I'm from.
Right.
You know what? No. I went to a Tony Robbins seminar. I'm going to be positive. If you would have called me a bitch,
yeah,
every time I saw you, we would move furniture. You understand what I'm saying? And on that, and you didn't just say it like you said it like bitch, like you was bigger than him.
Yes.
So I don't know if I'd let that go. My only concern when I worry about this is if Don Lemon sees this, because we all meet at the same meeting. If he happens to see this, you just gave them their out.
Yes.
So they will no longer give President Trump credit for you just gave him their out. So now it's going to be Dennis Rodman and his mate because he gave him the book. And then they'll do a reenactment. There'll be a Sunday show with a cartoon of a tall guy giving Kim a book and Kim going, huh, I never thought of that. And then he'll be there. So you just gave them their out.
You know what? But I like to make sacrifices. Kat, people often say a book can change your life. Nancy Drew Mysteries did it for me. I feel differently about plaid. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. Do you believe this?
I do.
Theory?
I do believe that theory. I definitely have books that I feel have changed my life. I just can't get over the fact that Dennis Rodman clearly thinks he's cool because he hangs out with Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
The way he talks about it, he's like, yeah, I went to go see him for his birthday, It's implied, like, were you invited to his birthday? Like, no, I wasn't invited to his birthday, and I'm okay with not going to an evil dictator's birthday party. I generally like to be invited, but that's the one instance where I'm okay with staying home.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they probably had great food.
Probably not.
That's not true. Yeah, it's North Korea. Dr. Gorka, should we use more pop culture icons to deal with foreign policy conflicts?
No.
Madonna could solve the Middle East.
Allow me to save your reputation.
Okay, sure.
Okay. That clip was actually spot on.
Yeah.
Because why did he go there? He went there to celebrate Little Kim. He went there to be cool in a dictatorship, not to stop anything.
Right.
And along comes the new president who says, you keep doing what you do, we are going to obliterate you.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Secretary Mattis says, we will annihilate you. A little bit different from Mr. Rodman. So
yeah, that's true.
You can stand by your words.
Yes.
Because this is a different kind of ball game and a different kind of president.
I don't think Trump is bringing them any birthday gifts.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You call somebody a bitch.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Tyrus. I mean, that wasn't even like, oh,
we got to go. I mean,
the way you said that was pretty aggressive.
That was like he took a glove off and slapped him, and you know that back in the day when that happened, somebody had to go.
It's
like,
on.
It was, yeah.
That's why, but no one knows where I live.
Luckily, you can handle yourself in a fight.
I'm tiny. I can run and hide under things. I'm like, you ever try to catch a rodent? That's
Can't
me.
do it.
Terry, where do you think this is going, North Korea? This could be a big achievement, and I think Rodman played a role.
Sure, give him the prize. It's pretty cheap anyway.
Yeah.
The Nobel Peace Prize.
That's true.
I think the Koreans, both North and South, I think it's kind of a con a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think China was involved. I think they're like, guys, we need to calm the heck down because this guy is not going to back down. I don't think it's. To me, it strains credulity that Kim Jong-un would be like, yes, I'm going to get rid of all my nuclear weapons because I'm afraid of Donald Trump. I don't think that's it.
Yeah.
But we've never been to this place before. So it's cool. It's a good celebration. By the way, my mom loves Greg more than me, and she gave you some unicorn Band-Aids.
Oh, nice.
That's to put on your forehead when Dennis Rodman comes and knocks you out. And knocks you out.
They're helpful when you put them on, and they feel great when you take them off.
I like that.
Unicorn Band-Aids. All right, coming up, Hillary blames her loss in 2016 on socialism. For once, she's right.
Yeah, she is actually. Yeah.
In a recent interview, aren't they all? Hillary Clinton was asked if being a capitalist hurt her in the election. She replied, quote, heavens no, losing was entirely my fault and I alone. I am to blame.
Oh, my God.
She didn't really say that.
Your diary.
If you're in the Iowa caucuses and 41% of Democrats are socialists or self-described socialists, and I'm asked, are you a capitalist? And I say yes, but with appropriate regulation and appropriate accountability, you know, that probably gets lost in the, oh my gosh, she's a capitalist.
But here's the thing. On this one, she's right. We're in a midterm year. You know who's doing a lot of campaigning for the candidates? Bernie. But also look at the popular issues: universal college access, single-payer health care, $15 minimum wage, identity politics galore. So yeah, Hillary, the capitalist, was right for once. The Democratic Party is now the Socialist Party. Here's their new campaign video.
Sharing is awesome. Democrats 2018.
Oh, yes.
Terry, I hate to admit it when she's right.
I know.
But if you blame everybody, you're bound to be right once.
Exactly. You throw it on the wall, something's going to stick. Here's the ironic thing, is that Hillary Clinton's not a capitalist, not at all. She's a government-controlled, she's evil warlord. she's a Sith Lord. She's evil
How
emperor.
dare you on?
So she's not. So she's not a real capitalist. But it's funny that her explaining that she was taken down because is true, because the socialists perceived her as one. And why do they perceive her? 44% want to go to socialism. Right. They've been indoctrinated. The old ones that moved to Vermont with Bernie and just, smoke weed every day are like, yeah, man, authority sucks. They're the ones who convinced it. So she did lose because she's a capitalist, but she's not a capitalist.
Kat, will the Democrats win on socialist values?
I sure hope not. But I also don't think that that's the only reason why she lost.
Of course.
I think she lost also because she's a nightmare.
Yeah.
She's very unlikable. And also, Bernie was far left of her on issues other than just economics, like foreign policy and criminal justice reform, when she was all about prisons, and she was kind of a war hawk. So I think that had a lot more to do with going further left in all areas rather than just going further left in economic areas.
Sebastian, I want her to run again.
Oh, please.
Do you think she will, guys? Do you think she will?
Why not?
And Kerry and Biden, it would be fabulous.
Yes.
I think it was Sean, our colleague, who counted up the number of excuses she's used.
Yes.
And it was like 42.
Yes.
Is this 43?
I think it is.
I think next it'll be global warming.
Yes.
Make me lose.
You know why? Because people decided to go to the beach instead of voting.
Yeah. It was a nice day.
It was a nice day.
Kat nailed it. She is a harridan. She is a disaster. That's why she lost.
Yes. Tyrus, thoughts on this? How
Harridan's a good word.
far left will the Democrats go this year, you think?
How far left? That's like I don't know. They're not. They're going to go so far left that they won't vote. They'll protest the vote. That's what they'll do. That way they can't really lose because they protested. But there's one big reason she lost. She lost this election 8 years prior. When she lost to Obama, it was the same thing. It was just Democrats were saying, ew, she's entitled. Ew, she's not a nice person. Oh, she's full of it. Like, they didn't believe her then.
Yeah.
And they didn't believe her now. I mean, and they're not going to, but for whatever reason, as long as she's got enough money and enough people. First of all, who the hell's interviewing her now?
Yeah.
Right, and why?
What person's like, hey, I'm going to get Hillary on the show, boss, and we're going to find out why she lost.
Yeah.
If I said that to you, who the hell? Let's get to the bottom of this. It's very simple. More people voted for him than you.
Well, actually, they will always say that
in the college.
In the college. Yeah, in the college.
In electoral college, correct?
Yes.
In our system that's been used for all these years, yes.
Yes. The system we now have to get rid of.
Okay, exception of California and New York, with the exception of California and New York.
You know what's funny about the left, too? They constantly worship iconoclasts, right? They do. That's their whole thing. Oh, tear it down. If you think about it, Trump, for whoever he is, there's no better iconoclast right now. He's destroyed the media. He's destroying the entrenched, political side. Now, like I said, I don't think he's a particularly moral man. He seems to me like one of those guys, like, if you worked for him, he's like, yeah, you do the right thing, I'll take care of you. But that's okay.
He's very loyal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In the military, like, I get that. Like, we stand with each other. I know some bad things about a lot of dudes, and they know a lot of bad things about me, but we'll bury the bodies for you.
But that's good to know.
Yeah.
But hey, next time,
they'll never find
Terry,
it.
if you bury a body, make sure it's in those pants and boots.
But look at where he won. This is really important what Terry said. He won in areas that we were told the GOP would never, ever win. I went to Youngstown, Ohio with the president. This is Steel Valley. And we had 25,000 people in the stadium, and you knew that they were former registered Democrats, their parents, their grandparents.
All that,
When he came out on stage, when she came out on stage, when Melania came out, they were screaming, USA drain the swamp. He won, and this is important for November, he won despite the GOP, not because of the GOP.
True.
And that's the lesson that the right has to understand.
All right, we got to go.
Yeah, totally.
Did you want to say something? Coming up, why are some people calling this prom dress offensive? Reminds me of the time they told me leather chaps aren't business casual. Such a mess over a dress. Long story short, white girl posts pictures in her prom dress on social media. It's a traditional Chinese dress. Some social justice weenies took offense and said the magic words, cultural appropriation. And then the media writes about the outrage the dress sparked. But you know who wasn't outraged by it? China! Over there, this story isn't appropriation, it's called appreciation. Look, if you really wanted, thank you, clap away. If you really wanted to be a pain, you can claim appropriation on anything, like socks. The ancient Greeks came up with them. Do I have to throw my socks out because I'm not Greek? What about yogurt? Greeks didn't invent that. A bunch of Asian herdsmen did back in 6000 BC. Are you not an Asian herdsman? Then you get no yo. Toilets, Scotland.
Thomas Crapper.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Nice. Toilet paper, China. And yet it's called Scott tissue. How dishonest. Perfume was invented in Mesopotamia. That's not even a place anymore. Do you walk upright? How dare you steal the practice initiated by Ardipithecus rhamnosus, the earliest hominid from Ethiopia? Look, our country's only 242 years old. Most of life's essentials were invented way before we came along. If we didn't borrow from other cultures, no one would ever evolve. We'd be a crawling, starving, stinking mess like these two.
Come on.
Selfish little rodents. Cats! You're the expert at prom dresses, I assume.
I've had one before, yeah.
You've worn one before?
Uh-huh.
So we do have something in common.
Yeah.
Well played, Greg. Well played.
What are your thoughts on cultural appropriation?
And I think that it gets out of hand, and I think that it's really awful that so many people were basically bullying this high school girl over her dress. People were really, really mean to her. They weren't just like, let me try to educate you. They were being mean to her.
Yeah.
And I just can't imagine having the time and the energy to sit there on the internet and bully a kid about a dress. I mean, I thought I didn't have a social life.
Yeah.
But damn.
I know I sound funny, Greg, but I'm an American now.
Yes.
And I want it to be known as of today that we will ban anyone who is not an American from wearing blue jeans and baseball hats.
Very good.
Cultural appropriation.
Yeah, absolutely.
They belong to us.
You can't wear
what do you think?
tuxedos were made in Tuxedo Park, which is part of New York, I believe. So if you're not an American and you're going to the prom, no tuxedo for you.
Well, this was all started by that Jeremy Lamb, that Asian kid. It was basically the outrage over this girl wearing a Chinese dress was started by a little chubby Asian dude unironically appropriating a frickin' baseball hat in his picture, and if you go back through his tweets, appropriating the N-word multiple times.
Say what?
Only Tyrus can say that. I can't say that. I can't. Yeah, I woke him up. I can't say that. Tyrus can say that.
See, now next to bitch, that'll really get you messed up.
This is what I'm saying. By the way, this little Asian dude saying that word like, oh damn. So I guess there's no end to that circle of idiocy.
Well, you know what's interesting though, Tyrus? There is no way to fight back, because when a social justice warrior tries to take something fun from you, like prom, you can't return the favor because they don't have anything fun to do. They're too busy.
You can fight back. She should have put up more pictures.
She actually was pretty good though, wasn't she?
Her friends should have got together, and her date should have got the appropriate male version, the counterpart of that, whatever that is. Because I'm not really big in China, I don't fit the clothes. But I'm saying, instead of being like, the real reason they were mad is because she looked good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
She looked good. She had a beautiful day,
and she had a smile on her face.
People do who don't. Apparently, he's chubby and wears a baseball hat. That ain't me. I'm Jack. But I got swole. I can have this because I have this.
That's right.
But
that's right.
I'm just saying, when I get hit with that, I give it to them more.
Yeah.
They're like, don't talk. I talk more.
Yeah.
They're like, don't lift weights like you do all the time. I lift more. Kiss my ass. You don't like it, then that should be her attitude. That should be our attitude. Whenever someone tries to appropriate me, punch him in the mouth back with more of it.
Well, you know what the thing is? This trend is, the social justice warrior movement is the literal fun police. That they won't rest until everything's ruined. Cinco de Mayo, you can't do that.
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day, bad. And any group that is devoid of humor is dangerous because you cannot engage. You can't have fun with them. That means they want your subservience at the end of the day.
But luckily,
they want to destroy stuff.
But luckily, we live in a time when that stuff happens. We have a citizen president, and I'll just do what the president would do. And when they said, oh, you can't do this about the Cinco de Mayo or whatever, what'd he do? He copped a video with a taco salad.
I guess.
So, you see what I'm saying? So, if someone gets online, do what the president would do.
Got it. All right, still to come, the Boy Scouts are taking a very important word out of their name, and it isn't Scouts. We investigate what it could be next. Will there be less tent pitching and more cross-stitching? Next year, the Boy Scouts of America will change the name of their program for 11 to 17-year-olds to Scouts BSA. The BSA standing for Best Socks Around. It's true, thank God. The reason for the change, they'll now start accepting girls who will now be able to advance to the highest rank, which is Eagle Scout, which means they get their very own eagle. I don't know anything about the Scouts. Of course, lots of companies changed their names. Kentucky Fried Chicken became KFC. WWF became WWE. And the Five was once called the Greg Gutfeld Show, plus 4 other annoying people. Meanwhile, the Cub Scouts for brats ages 7 to 10 has already started admitting girls. Over 3,000 have signed up. In response, the Girl Scouts of America has begun their own recruitment program, including rolling out new merit badges. My favorite is peanut butter painting.
What have you been doing to your brother? You don't know?
Scrubbing him.
You were scrubbing him?
Yeah.
Oh, Ethan. Does it feel good?
Tyrus, how do you feel about this?
You know, I understand.
You were a Boy Scout.
Yeah, I was a Boy Scout, and I really feel like in Peterson,
Jordan Peterson,
when he came, he talked about a lot. There are differences between us, and there are certain things that the Boy Scouts helped me do that I still to this day, as far as like respecting them and having a man's perspective on how to be a young adult when you don't necessarily had a man around the house. So for me, the Boy Scouts, it was an outlet to be a young man and like have questions and be curious and be able to ask stuff and feed off each other in a positive situation. So and there was an alternative. There was the Girl Scouts, and they did their own thing. So I just don't understand why we had to combine the two together. And maybe it's just because I was a part of that, and I feel like that was an American institution. Then I don't understand why we had to change it, because we had something similar, or in some cases better.
Yeah.
We had the Girl Scouts, we had the Boy Scouts, and then I just don't understand why we couldn't kept them different.
Breaking down traditions, that's what it is. It's the iconoclasm of our traditions. Get rid of religion, get rid of that kind of. It's just like all these things that are threats to what we've been talking about all night. You know, this collective behavior.
So the Scouts was created by a general, Baden-Powell.
Baden-Powell, yeah, British guy, right?
Yeah, British guy. It had a very specific role. It was, how do you help young boys become men? And this is what they want to attack. And I'm going to say something shocking here. Girls are not boys, and boys are not girls.
No way. No way. Burn him.
And congratulations on the Jordan Peterson, guest appearance. He's absolutely right. This isn't just an accident. This isn't about girls becoming Eagle Scouts. This is an ideological assault on our traditions of Judeo-Christian civilization. That's all it is.
You know, Kat, I know you were a Girl Scout. I think the ultimate end game here is no more distinctions. So they're erasing gender distinctions. So I'm saying to you, as a former Girl Scout, if you're going to get rid of gender distinctions so that boys can become Girl Scouts, why not get rid of age distinctions? So as a 53-year-old, I can join the Girl Scouts, because I can say that I can self-identify as a 9-year-old girl.
I would
You can wear that prom dress again.
Yes, I still have the prom dress. Doesn't that logically make some sense?
Right, you would definitely not have fit in with me and my friends, though. When I was the age that I was a Girl Scout, I didn't want to hang out with boys.
Yeah.
I thought they had cooties. I wanted to make friendship bracelets and listen to the Spice Girls and get back at Tina for having another best friend other than me.
Right. I hated that.
I haven't forgotten Tina. I'm just kidding.
No, I always hated it when you became a secondary best friend.
Yeah, and
that
it's like
drove
I
me
wouldn't
nuts.
notice. Yeah,
But see, in the Boy Scouts, we were all a group.
Yes.
We were a troop. Like, we were getting our toes.
Okay, I take it back. I do want to join the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, we worked together. Like, we were challenged. You know, it was just different. Like I said, I don't get it.
Well, you know, the other thing, too, is if all identity becomes fluid, it can also become highly specific, which means I can wake up and say, I'm not identifying as a woman, but as a specific woman. Like, I want to identify as Oprah Winfrey.
Right.
Or, why does it have to be a human being? Why can't I just wake up and go, I want to be a giraffe or an asteroid? Or, I should be, and then I should be on, like, some kind of disability. Unicorn disability.
You're just giving everybody an out on this show. Just everyone.
Hey, if Liz Warren can do it, so can I.
No, we had that kid. We had a kid in our neighborhood who thought he was a dog, and we all encouraged him. And then one day we were like, "Hey, jackass, stop being a dog." And he stopped.
And it stopped, didn't it?
But for a while, it was like, "Okay, go get it." You know,
it stopped.
He became the world's best fetcher. They're going to make a movie out of him. Like, suddenly he became the world's... He would fetch things, and he became famous for fetching. All right, I can shut up.
We've seen the same stuff in the military, trying to do all the integration of men and women. We don't... Guys behave differently when they're by themselves than they...
Oh, tell me about it.
The way it is.
Don't go any...
On that note, it's time for break.
We got more to come. Stick around. We're running out of show. Final thoughts, Dr. Gorka. You got a book coming out?
Yes, I've got my second book coming out, Why We Fight, coming out in July for the beach.
Yeah.
So you can pre-order it now, but I've got a final thought for everybody. Yeah. Have faith, because Donald Trump never gives up.
I like it when he does it in that voice.
You can't resist this guy.
Have faith. Terry, you working on something?
So listen, everybody talks about helping vets. Go to taskforcedagger.org. I'm a dive instructor for them. We're actually taking wounded vets, teaching them. You guys don't know this. I was an archaeologist before I went in the Army, and that's my degree. We're teaching them maritime archaeology with East Carolina University, and then we're going to go to Saipan and excavate remains and bring them back to their families from World War II.
Wow. Well, when you're out there digging those remains, bury those pants.
I will not.
All right. Dr. Sebastian Gorka, thank you. Terry Schappert, Kat Timpf, Tyrus. Studio audience, Greg Gutfeld, I love you, America.